Welcome to the Seller Roundtable e-commerce coaching and business strategies with Andy Arnott and Amy Wees.
All right, number 2, optimize your PPC. This is another huge thing that we get. We get a lot of people coming to us because they're either losing a ton of money on PPC or they don't know how to do it correctly. So this is definitely something that's that you really want to concentrate on. So kind of the basics. Once again, if you go back to past episodes of Seller Roundtable, we've done things like, really gone in depth with how to optimize, how to set up campaigns, doing all of this kind of stuff. But I just want to go over it again really quickly and make sure that you guys are doing just at least the basics. My lovely scroll mouse is jumping all over the place here. So optimize your PPC. So there's a ton of new features that Amazon has rolled out over the last 4 to 6 months, starting in Q4. So here's something you really need to do if you're not doing it today. You want to make sure you have an auto campaign enabled, and that auto campaign should stay on indefinitely. A lot of people think that you're supposed to start on auto campaign, let it run for a couple of weeks, and then turn it off. That's not the case at all. You want that auto campaign running, continuously. A lot of people are saying, well, but that auto campaign has an ACoS of 100%. So in that case, you just leave your campaign running and then you reduce the bid, and you continue to reduce that bid until you get to a point where you're actually, making money on that, or at least breaking even on that campaign. And the reason you want that campaign to go is because it's gonna continually collect new keywords that you haven't thought about that your product's gonna convert for. So make sure you have an auto campaign running 24/7, 365. Another one is a manual discovery campaign. What a discovery campaign is it's a manual campaign, but it's a very wide campaign. So you're either using a lot of keywords or you're using broad match keywords. There's 2 different theories on that. Nowadays you can usually just do a broad campaign and get a decent amount of results. But what I've seen lately is Amazon's not really it's not really targeting broad like it used to. It looks like phrase right now is getting the most impressions. So that's why when we do a discovery campaign, we actually do all match types and quite a few keywords. We start out with a minimum of 100 keywords. And then we go from there, and then we start paring down performing keywords. And that goes into step 3, set up new that's step 4. We'll go into that in a second. Step 3, set up a new product targeting campaign. So this used to be available for only brand registered brands, but now they've rolled it out to the masses. So even if you're not brand registered, you now have access to that product targeting in Amazon. And what we've seen is there's still a lot of sellers not utilizing that targeting. So you can actually get a ton of impressions and sales and clicks from those ads. Now, if you don't know how to set those up, go back once again, like I said, to previous episode. I think it's episode 6 that we talk about really more in depth on how to do PPC. Definitely go back and listen or watch that, and it will really give you a good idea on how to do those things. Now, the new product targeting campaigns, like I said, you're going to get really good ACoS, and you're going to get a lot more visibility. Now, something you need to realize is it seems like the volume's not quite there. So in other words, you might only get 1 or 2 sales a day from each ad set, but that really starts to add up. And then just like the rest of the PPC, you want to get rid of ASINs that aren't converting and only keep the ones that are after a certain threshold. We usually like to see 10 clicks before we reduce bids on stuff that's not converting. But once again, that's go back to our advanced PPC to learn more about that. You want to run search term reports. Usually about once a week is a good way of doing it. And what search term reports will give you is it'll show you all the search terms from your automatic campaigns that are converting. And what you'd want to do then is take those converting keywords and add them to your performing campaign. Now, what a performing campaign is a separate campaign that you break off from your discovery campaigns. And so these are the keywords that are converting, and those campaigns are the ones that you're really going to try to tighten the bolts down onto and really get an ACoS that's going to work for you. That's where you're going to start making your money on that stuff, is when you're really you're getting dialed in on those campaigns and getting money, actually being net positive on your return on ad spend. Now, I talked about harvesting your search terms and all those things. Now, the other thing you need to do is optimize at least once per week. Generally, Tuesdays are a good day because you can, the last week's data is complete by Tuesdays usually. There is about a 24-hour delay in Amazon's reporting. So that's a really great time to look at your data. Once again, I'm not going to go too in depth into how to optimize. We covered that before, but the gist of it is the basics is, reducing bids on keywords that aren't performing. In other words, not getting you sales, and then increasing bids on keywords that or product targeting where they're converting at a good value. So, if your break-even ACoS say is 35%, and you have a product target or a keyword target, that you're bidding $1 on, if your ACoS is that low, you might want to raise that bid to make sure that you get the maximum amount of visibility. So if it's $1, you want to go up to like $1.50, something like that. Last but not least, day parting. I know that's not. I don't really know any other tools doing this. Otherwise, I would mention them. But Seller SEO does this, and what it is let me actually see if I can pull it up on this account here. See if there's any way I can show you. What day parting does is it will actually allow you to enable and disable your PPC campaigns during times of day. So in other words, let me show you this screen here real quick on Seller SEO. So right here, as you can see, we've got what's really cool about Seller SEO is you can enable by hour and then start and stop throughout the day. So say on Mondays, you want to start at 8 a.m. and you want to go to 3 p.m., but then you want to stop and then start up again at 7 p.m. to 2100. What's really cool here is once you save the schedule and you can go down to the campaign level, your campaigns will only show during specific times of day. Now, a lot of people are asking, why would you want to do something like that? It's actually one of the most effective ways to reduce your ACoS, because generally people are browsing before about 10 a.m. And then same thing with late at night. So what you can do is you can actually go into your reports, and at some point we hope to have this automated for you. It's just going to be quite the task. Is go in and download your order report and put it into an Excel, and then you can actually graph and see time of day and day of week. If you sell enough on Amazon, you have a PPC account manager. They can actually pull that data for you. Unfortunately, it's not available to every seller. If you don't know how to do that, go on to like Fiverr or Upwork or something like that and hire somebody. You could probably do it for like $10, $20, something like that. Tell them, hey, here's the report. This is the data that I want. Build me an Excel sheet for that, or a script for that, and they'll do it for you. And it's super simple. And like I said, we'll end up having that in the tool here shortly, where you'll be able to import your search term report, and then we'll give you a nice little graph on what times of day are performing best for your campaigns. The other reason why day parting is really effective and great is because there's been a lot of stories and things like that about Chinese sellers and overseas sellers clicking on your ads throughout the night. And if your ads are turned off, guess what? They can't do it. So it's another really effective way to make sure that you're not spending PPC clicks, not spending money on clicks that aren't going to actually convert.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for live Q&A and bonus content after the recording at sellerroundtable.com. Sponsored by the ultimate software tool for Amazon sales and growth, sellerseo.com and amazingathome.com.